Hi there. I'm going to teach you how to fold a lucky origami crane. When you're done, you're going to have a little crane that looks like any of these little samples here. And to do that, you're going to start with a piece of square paper. The size can vary. This is a sample that is using 4 by 4 inches. And you can buy pre-made paper like this, or you can cut up your own paper. The important thing is that it's a square. The next size that could be used is 6 by 6. And that comes pre-cut in different variety of patterns, and that can come out of a book that looks like this. For the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to show you how to do it on scrapbook paper, which is 12 by 12. So you'll start with a piece of scrapbook paper, and then you will have one of the flat edges facing you, and then you will take up one of the edges and fold that down in the middle of the page, open that back up. Then you will do that again with the bottom edge and open that back up. Then next what you will do is turn the paper so that one of the pointed edges is facing you, kind of like a diamond. And then you will take that and fold one of the edges from the bottom to match at the top. And fold that, open it up, rotate it to the other end so that you can have the long base facing you, and then you will make a long edge like that. So basically we've just folded to make some of the foundation folds for making our pattern. So next what you will do is turn it upside down, and you can kind of see the samples here where the folds are. You're going to take the diamond facing you, one of the pointed ends facing you, and then you are going to put your fingers underneath so that you can have these edges come to fold to face you at the bottom, and then you will flatten that on the very top too. So you actually have a square at this point, but it's facing you kind of like a diamond, and then it opens up like this. So at this point you will take, if you are right-handed, take a hold of the right-hand pointed piece and fold that in to meet at the center fold that you had previously made. When you're making your creases, it's important that you use your fingers or a fingernail to make sure that they are very crisp and precise. Next, you will take the left-hand side and fold that in, and then fold that crisply. You will take this and flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So a lot of times the patterns are done on one side and then same thing repeated on the other. So if you're comfortable with the directions on one side, the repeat pattern just happens on the opposite side. So I folded from the right to meet that, and then I'm doing it from the left. In my opinion, it kind of looks like a kite at this point. So you will open this up back to the square diamond, and then you will take this and fold it open. So again, you're pressing down those folds to make them nice and crisp and clear. The one thing you could do on this side, I'll show you, if you would like, you could fold that triangle down and put a little crisp edge here. That may help when you open it up all the way. So I'm making it back to that diamond pattern, and then I'm opening it up again along that crisp little edge, and then I am folding the side pieces to make it look like kind of like a skinny diamond, I guess. All right, at this point you can take your hands and kind of smooth out those crisp edges. The word origami does mean paper folding, and it was invented in Japan. So I like to turn this a little bit, and I'm going to make that fold like we just did on the other square pattern, where I'm folding from the right, coming in, And then I'm doing that on the left-hand side as well. And then I'm going to take that top part and fold that down. So this is actually going to be one of our wings. So I mentioned that once you repeat it on one side, you do the same thing on the other. So I flipped it over and I'm making that kind of like a kite fold again here on the right and left hand side. And then I'm folding that wing flap over again. So I'm making it match the wing flap that is on the bottom there. So this part also has some folds that make it fun and interesting. You will take the right hand part and fold that up so it looks kind of like at an angle. Then you will take the left hand and fold that up as well. So here, the vision of our lucky crane is starting to come a little bit more together. So the first part, you are going to open up one of those legs that we just made, and then you're going to reopen it up again and then fold it back toward the body itself like that, and then kind of line up the crease there and nicely tuck it in. So to do that on the other side, you open up that, I'm calling it a leg. You open that up, there's a little crease there, and you're reverse folding it back over that little crease, and then just tucking it in and making it nicely crisply folded. So what you're left with is the lucky crane that looks like this. You can decide which of these edges you would like to be your head and which you would like to be your tail. So I'm going to make this be the head, and it's kind of that reverse fold like we did previously. You take that over and fold it at an angle, and it looks like that, but you open it back up, and then you reverse fold that to become the head and the beak of our crane. And then this is the tail of our crane. So some people like to use this as their final crane, and you could punch a hole here to hang it with some string. But what I like to do is actually take the crane, open up that back a little bit, push it down so that it becomes a little bit more stable. And then that way it can set up or it can be hung nicely. And if you do decide to hang them, you could have, you know, many of them could even be like layered on the top of each other. So I hope that's helpful. Feel free to take this video, stop it, restart it, and good luck with your crane making.